was born a bodybuilder and I will die a bodybuilder.
This is the #1 bodybuilding show in the world. It was really spectacular.
We're gonna go up to $500,000 for the winner next year.
Welcome to Fit Club Vegas, the ultimate fitness destination for visitors. Drop in for a day pass and experience our 10,000 square foot fitness playground. At Fit Club, you'll find state-of-the-art equipment and a sound system so good you'll pitch your headphones. Conveniently located 7 to 12 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, Fit Club is a perfect spot for you to come get your pump while visiting Sin City. So come check us out at 4525 West Hacienda, Las Vegas, Nevada. Fit Club Vegas, more than a gym, it's a vibe.
And whenever you're ready.
Yeah, we have the greatest bodybuilder of all time.
Yeah, buddy.
Ronnie, we've been looking forward to this since we started. What episode are we on now?
It's going to be like 141.
So we talked about you.
Late, 2.5 years.
But we wanted to get you in person. So welcome to Vegas. We just celebrated his 60th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Olympia.
Off the chain.
Does it give you memories when you see these guys on stage and watch this contest?
Yeah, it gives me some memories, but the best thing about it is I get a chance to sit there and watch, you know. So we're used to just being up there on stage, being in that moment in time, and it's all business. But when you come, you get a chance to sit there and just chill out, watch these guys, and just reminisce. And it's kind of like unbelievable in a way, because it's like, man, I used to be up there doing that. I wonder if I look,
I think the same thing,
as good as, better than these guys. You know, I'm kind of trying to compare myself to them, and I'm like, man.
Dude, you are from another planet.
Just think if I could just get up there one more time and just do that again.
You know what's funny, Ronnie, is I had the privilege to sit next to, on paper, the two greatest record holder bodybuilders ever. You and Lee Haney sat next to each other to my left. And I had four Olympias. Yes. And then, you know, we had Linda sitting down from us.
It's 28.
Iris? Well, no, yeah, we had Iris, but Linda was sitting. I didn't see Iris where she was sitting, but
yeah.
Listen, as a guy that idolized you and that eventually come up and we were rivals, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say you were my nemesis, but
no.
I really wanted to win, and like I told you before this podcast started, I went to every Olympia thinking I was going to kick your ass.
And you know what? Same here.
Yeah. Well, I think you were pretty victorious, and I always said, you know, I don't feel I beat the best Ronnie Coleman, because, I think you're the greatest. I mean, you're the greatest physique-wise we've ever seen. If I asked you your favorite physique you ever brought to the Olympia stage, what year would you think that was?
I'm going to go with 98.
First one.
The first one, because the first one is the one that, you know, I never even had any inkling or any idea that I would win a Mr. Olympia. So in 98, I'm thinking, man, if I could just make the top 5, my life would be complete. You know, I've done something, I've accomplished something. Just, Lord, just let me in the top 5. That's all I ask, you know. I don't think it's too much. You know, I worked my butt off. I've sacrificed so much, and I put everything I had into making the top 5. If I don't do it this year, you know, I don't think it's going to be done. So if I could just make the top 5, it'll be the greatest thing that ever happened.
And as they're counting down and like, you know, 5th, 4th, 3rd, you were probably
when they call 6th, I'm like, please not let that be. Please. And I'm just begging and pleading, and 6th place would call, and it wasn't me. So right then and there, I like, God, I've accomplished
everything you ever wanted to do.
Everything I've ever wanted to do is make a top 5. So when they announced 5th, I'm like, okay, I know I got 5th, you know. I've never beaten none of these guys before, you know, on a big stage, you know. In some of the Grand Prix, you know, I snuck up on Flex a couple times, snuck up on LeBron one time, but, you know, never in like a major show. So when they got ready to call for 5th, I'm like, okay, I've done it. You know, I've finally accomplished my dream. And I just knew it was going to be me, you know, because, you know, the sport is kind of political in a way. You know, I've never, ever placed, you know, higher than 7th, you know, in the Olympia. I went from 7th, and then I went backwards, 9th. You know, and I'm like, oh man, if I can only just make the top 5, I'll be done. I'll be happy and satisfied. Because I remember in '97, it was one of the hardest years ever for me in bodybuilding. I decided I was going to do the early shows. I always did the spring shows, never did like the winter shows when it was real cold. So the Ironman is always the first show. And I went into the Ironman thinking, you know, I had won some shows, you know, mostly out of the country. Never did anything here in the U.S. And I get to the Ironman, and I'm like, okay, I know I can win this little show. And man, I placed 3rd.
Who beat you at that show? Do you remember?
Yeah. Lee Priest.
I've heard him talk about this.
You know, I've said some other things about it in other places, you know, but me and Lee, we real cool, but I'm like, how can a guy this short and not as big as I am, nowhere near as big as I am, beat me? It's got to be the worst thing.
Did you think, well, he's from California?
Ever happened to me? I didn't know what to think. I'm like, I was kind of like in shock a little bit, you know. So we go and do the Arnold Classic that next week. And I'm like, man, I can't keep doing that. I can't keep letting this little guy, these other guys beat me like this. And prejudging happened, and I get back to my room, and I'm going by the call out, and Lee is in front of me again. And I really had a pity party with myself. I'm like, man, I'm wasting my time in this sport. I got a good job, got great benefits. What the hell am I going to do with this bodybuilding thing? You know, I don't need it. I make a lot of money working for the police department. I was making 6 figures, you know, because I had my job, and then I had my side job, you know, making
overtime money. And
yeah, I had overtime money. I was making easy $25,000, $30,000 on the side just doing that. So I get back to the room, and I'm depressed. I ain't gonna lie. I look over at my girlfriend, Vicky, and I'm like, Vicky, you know what? I'm done with this bodybuilding thing. You know, I don't need this shit. You know, I make good money at the police department, and this bodybuilding is just dragging me down. And she looked at me and she said, boy, shut up. And I thought about it, and I'm like, man, I ain't no quitter. And I said, you know, the reason why I got into the sport of bodybuilding for a free membership to the gym. And then if I just give it up, I'm going to probably lose my free membership to the gym. So that was kind of positive, you know, to keep me going and to keep me in the sport. But I go back to the night show, and I actually placed fourth, and I beat Lee Priest. And I'm like, oh man, I'm back.
His biggest triumph.
I redeemed myself. But I go to the Olympia, and man, I got, I think, 7th the year before, and I get 9th. I'm like, oh man, here we go again. I said, I've already had this pity party, you know. I've already threatened to quit, and I didn't. So I want to just use it, you know, as a source of inspiration and motivation, you know. Well, I love what I'm doing. You know, I look forward to going to the gym every day. I look forward to going to work every day, to be honest with you. And I'm doing two things that I have a ton of passion for. And I would work for the police department for free. That's how much I love doing it. Of course, we know I didn't make a lot of money in bodybuilding because, you know, most of the shows, you know, I'm getting like 3rd and 4th. Every now and then I'll get a first here and there. So I'm like, you know, I can just do that, you know, just for like a side job or something. You know, I'm never going to really make it in the sport of bodybuilding. So in 98, you know, 5th place was called, and it wasn't me. I'm like, whoa, what the hell going on here? I'm like, okay, I got 4th. 4th place was called, and it wasn't me. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I've accomplished my lifelong dream of making the top 5, and here I am in the top 3. 3rd place was called, and it wasn't me. And I'm like, oh, boy, I know for a fact I got 2nd. Because, you know, leading up to the show, everybody and their mama was saying Flex was going to win.
He's your good friend.
He had already, yeah, me and Flex, he's the best friend I ever had in the sport of bodybuilding. For sure. He taught me everything I know. He's responsible for me hooking up with Chad. He's responsible for me, you know, learning about the drug side of bodybuilding. He taught me everything about everything I needed to know about the drug side. I had no clue. I didn't know nothing about it. And Fleck just sat down and told me, if you want to be up here with the big dogs, you got to do what the big dogs do. He told me everything I needed. It told me where to get it from, everything, and he hooked everything up. So, of course, he's going to be the best friend ever, and he never lied to me about nothing, you know. He didn't mislead me. He didn't try to, you know.
Which is crazy, because this is your, like, now...
I wonder if competitors.
Yeah. But I wonder if he realized how much your potential was. Did you ever ask him?
No, I never asked him. He was like, you know, we're both doing the same thing. And I'm going to eventually find out, you know. And, you know, I've always had a good relationship with him. You know, I've never said anything bad about him. And I've always respected him, you know. So we had a good relationship. And he was honest. He never tried to, you know, mislead me in no kind of way, sabotage me in no kind of way. And he was straight up. He's like, man, who you working with to do your diet? I'm like, me? He's like, no, dude, you need to get with this guy by the name of Chad Nichols. And I'm like, what's that? Like, man, I've been working with him for about a couple of years now. He really knows his stuff. So he gives me Chad's number, and I called him. And Chad didn't
call
me back or
Yeah.
nothing. I'm like, Flex, why you give me this guy's number, and he not calling me back or nothing. Like, oh, no, just keep calling him. I was like, okay, here we go. So I kept calling him. He finally called me back. And the first show we did together was the 98 Toronto. You know, he told me everything I needed to do. He really went in and changed everything I was doing. He had me eat like 600 grams of protein a day.
You think that was the biggest change?
Biggest change.
You were under eating yourself?
I was under eating. I was only taking in like 12 ounces of chicken, you know, at each meal. Either chicken,
you went to 16?
Turkey, and steak. I went to 16, and it was the hardest thing ever, trying to stuff all this food down. And it took me a good 3 months to do it. But I finally did it. And boy, you talking about somebody that bulked up. I went from like 280 to like 325 by just eating a ton of food.
Yeah,
it took me a long time to get used to.
Yeah, people don't realize what it takes for
I didn't know you had to eat so much.
And it's force feed, right?
No, I thought it was the drug.
Yeah.
I had to force feed myself. And man, it ain't nothing in the world like having to force food down your body. And you don't really want to do it. But in order to do it, you gotta put on size. That's the only way you put on size.
I know, but Ronnie, at this point, you know, I know you won your first Olympia at 34, if I'm right.
Yep.
And so you've already had the experience. I mean, we talk about the genetic potential. We've seen your football pictures.
Yep.
We know your accolades there.
Yep.
And, you know, hey, you probably wanted to go to the NFL. You probably had the potential, and that's where you said you had your first injury, which we all know your condition now, right? Mm-hmm. And you said it always stemmed from back then. Was that something that happened on the field? Or?
Yeah, my first major accident was a back injury. I was playing football, and somehow or another I hit somebody, and it really tweaked my back real bad. I mean, I was in a lot of pain. So I went to the chiropractor, and they like, we don't see nothing, you know. First I went to the emergency room, and they was like, well, we took x-rays. Ain't nothing we can do for you. Nothing's wrong. So I like, yeah, something was wrong. I'm in a lot of pain. So I went to the chiropractor, and he's like, yeah, man, we took some x-rays, and we really can't see nothing, but, you know, we can probably have you in here like 2 to 3 days a week, and we can manipulate your back with all these machines we got here. So they put me on these vibrating machines, you know, these
decompression. It's called the DRX 9000 is what I used to do, and it actually pulled your unit harness, and it pulled your hips down.
Yep, it worked like a champ.
Because if you have a bulged disc, that's what happens.
Oh, man, yeah. I had that happened later. Yeah, that happened later, but I went to chiropractor for my whole college career. And when I didn't get drafted, you know, I moved to Texas and found another chiropractor. And I went at least twice a week.
For your whole career, pretty much, didn't you?
Yeah, for my whole career. And then one day, you know, I was in the gym. I can remember like it yesterday. And I was squatting 585.
Nothing for Ronnie Coleman.
No, that ain't nothing for me. Nothing but a peanut. Yeah. You know, it was the Olympia, and I took about a week off. And when I had stopped working out, you know, I was doing 585 for 12 reps, my last set. Well, I didn't think I'd lost anything, you know, so I put the 585 back on, and I was coming up for rep number 8. I'll never get it. It's like it happened yesterday. And I'm struggling a little bit, and all of a sudden I hear a loud, pow. I'm like, what the hell? I just dumped the weight immediately. I'm like, dude. I had this guy spot me. I'm like, dude, did you just slap me? Because I was struggling. Because we always like hit each other on the back.
Yeah, I saw the videos.
Yeah,
he slapped the hell out of each other.
Yeah. And he's like, no, man, I didn't touch you. I'm like, what was that loud bang? He's like, I don't know, but I heard it too. I'm like, shit. And as soon as I said that, a sharp pain went down my leg. I'm like, oh, boy. I'm done with squats. So I went to leg press.
Still kept training?
I still kept training and did my leg press and did some hack squats. And then I did my hamstrings. I did like 2 exercises. And one of the exercises was walking lunges. And I finish up. I go home, get in the shower, take a shower, and normally by now every workout my back hurts because you know I'm stressing myself by putting all this weight on there, but it goes away. You know the pain lasts about an hour or so. You know it is not major pain. It's just that numb pain, you know, nothing major, but it goes away by the time I've gotten out of the shower. Well, this day, the pain didn't go away and sound like it was even worse. So I'm like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. Forget going to work. I'm going to the emergency room because I got to get ready for this Arnold Classic. I can't be taking no chances. Go to the emergency room. Take all these x-rays and everything. It had me sitting there for like 2 hours. I'm like, hey, y'all give me something for this pain? And like, yeah, we got some medication here. I think it was Tylenol or something. So I take it, nothing. So I'm like, man, I need to get my butt out of here. These people ain't doing nothing for me. And they was like, well, I think you need to get an MRI because we can't see nothing on X-ray. So the next day I get an MRI and they like, oh boy, got some bad news for you. You got a herniated disc. I'm like, oh man, this ain't good. So I'm like, I ain't doing no surgery because that was what they would recommend. I'm like, nope. They're like, well, if you don't do surgery, you can always just, see a chiropractor and rehabilitate it yourself. That's what I did. I went to chiropractor every single day. And I took off from work, and I'm like, shoot, I ain't going to work with all this pain.
Yeah.
Well, 2 weeks go by, and I'm like, man, I need to get my butt back in the gym. I got all the classes I got to get ready for, and I got to get back in the gym and start back working out so I can be ready for this Arnold Classic. Well, go back to the gym, and I'm like, I got to conquer my fear on these squats.
Went right back at it.
I was right back in it. But I didn't go to no 585.
Not that day.
You went to 490.
490.
Oh, no. I didn't, you know what? I thought about it. I'm like, nah, I ain't ready for that yet. So I kept it at 315 for like 20 reps, But I'm talking about fears, because, like I said, I don't want to be scared of no exercise.
Of course, yeah. I always say you can't be scared of the weight,
Can't be scared of the weight, This is what I do. So I stayed at 315 for like the next, 5-6 months before I went to 405. And then, once I went to 405, then it's, 495. And slowly but surely, by 90, so that was 97. By 97, 98, 99, I was pretty much back to myself.
Until now, I mean, you kind of been through hell and back, Ronnie.
Yeah.
And a lot of people ask me, what happened to Ronnie? Like what? And I know you've had a ton of surgeries. I know some of these surgeries probably weren't as procedure. Mm-hmm. I know you've had some, would I call it a bad surgery?
Yep.
And
bad surgery.
And, you've been talking online quite a bit about you will walk again. We just had a conversation as we went and had some food.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, I'm working behind the scenes right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk a little bit about your schedule and what kind of therapy and let us know. You're going to walk again at some point, right?
Slowly, I went to a lot of therapy,
like tissue work. Yeah. You've done stem cells. You've done everything. How many surgeries now total?
13.
Okay.
I had 8 back, 3 neck, and 3 hip. So what's that? 8, 14. Yeah. So
lost count that. It's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. What happened was, on the back ones, they putting these screws in, and they would break.
Yeah, but are you supposed to train the way you're Ronnie Coleman?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do you know what cruising is, or can you go in the gym and just go through the motions?
Yeah, yep, exactly.
I don't know if Ronnie Coleman knows the terms of cruising and going through the motions.
Exactly. But these screws would break, and man, they'd have to do the surgery all over again. And they broke about 4 times. So I'm doing 2-3 surgeries a year. It's crazy.
What is that like, though? I mean, what is it?
Every surgery I do, it takes a little bit strength away from me, because I'm getting weaker and weaker. The more surgeries I do, the weaker I got. Of course, squats and all that was out, I'll just leg press, leg extensions, anything where I put weight on my back.
Forget.
Totally out of
shrugs, no shrugs or anything?
I do shrugs, but seated. Everything is seated now.
Yeah.
So now I'm back to doing therapy again, because when I was doing therapy at first, it worked out real good, and I was back to walking, but I had a pretty bad limp. But I'm like, you know what? I don't need all this therapy. I can do this therapy myself, going to the gym, because I'm still strong. I still got the motivation. So I decided I was going to rehabilitate myself by going to the gym. Well, the only thing about that is what I was telling you earlier. When you go to the gym, you're working mostly the big muscles. But you got to work the smaller muscles also to help with the big muscles. Well, I didn't do that, and I got worse. And finally got to the point where I work everything separately. So I know what leg is weak and what leg is strong. So my right quad was stronger than my left quad. And my right hamstring was a little bit stronger than my left one. So now I'm back to therapy, and I'm trying to get everything equaled out. I'm trying to get my left quad stronger like my right one is. And same thing with the hamstrings too. But I got to go through therapy. So what I do is see the therapist twice a week, and I would see him for about hour and a half, twice a week, and we hit it hard. We everything we can to get this left quad stronger. So in addition to that, he said, I got these pool exercises that you can do at home, because I got a pool at the house, and I do my pool exercises when I'm not seeing him. So that's like 3 times a week. So I get in the pool, and I do about 45 minutes, straightening. I can walk back and forth, doing high leg kicks in there. And then I can do like squats in there in the pool, and I can do like I lay on my stomach. Normally I can get like a buoy or something, and I can do leg kicks like that. And I also do like one leg stands, and straighten it up, my left leg and my right leg. And like I said, this takes about almost 45 minutes. So I do that 3 times a week. But it's going to take at least 6 months to get some real good strength back on my legs. And I got to get mostly the nerves to start back firing. Well, that's the main problem.
Do you think you have
the nerves are not firing the way they need to be firing in order for me to have great balance.
Do you have a date that you like, I need to be walking by this date?
Yeah. I'm giving myself about a year and a half.
Okay.
To, be walking maybe with a cane, and then eventually to get to where I can walk without a cane. So I'm looking at 2 years. Because I remember when I had my neck surgery, and the doctor's like, it's going to take about 2 years for the numbness in your hand to go away. And about 2 years to the day, all that numbness went away, and the strength came back in my right hand. So I'm thinking, in about 2 years, I think I'll be able to, regenerate some of those nerves. And I've been doing stem cells. I do stem cells like 300 million every 5 months.
Where do you get that done?
Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And it's been working real good. I had this herniated disc in my right thoracic, I think, which is right next to the heart. And the doctor was saying, and that's a real tricky surgery. So I don't recommend you doing that. You ought to try to see maybe if you can do some kind of regenerative type a way of to get it the pain to go away. Because I was in so much pain, I couldn't sleep.
It's that bad.
It was that bad.
Oh, but Ronnie, you're the most positive. I mean, we spend a lot of time together. We travel, and you never look for attention.
Nope.
You're always just, you were always like, even when you were Mr. Olympia, you just said, I do what I do. And you were so routine. We traveled every week. But what amazes me about you is like, people actually feel bad. And I say these in interviews, and I said, don't feel bad for Ronnie because
Olympia?
He's a machine. And like, you're still training every day.
I'm still training every day.
And they say,
I still get around just fine.
That is, and you have
I
these
do
young
what I want to do.
And
yeah, I do what I want to do there's no reason in the world to feel bad about me. I'm actually doing better now than I did when I was Mr. Olympia, curse reigning champ.
I love when you can tell people that.
Yeah. And, I just bought a nicer house. Just bought a nicer car. So everything's going great. Kids are doing real good in school. They're all real smart, and everything's going great. Wife is doing just fine, taking care of the kid when I'm on the road.
You know what's crazy to me, Ronnie? We traveled week after week. We're in the gym training legs on Friday nights. You never missed. Saturdays was chest. I trained with you. And, we lived that hectic lifestyle. And I know you're traveling like a madman, but your whole life shifted after the Olympia, having children, more children. I know you have a daughter or had a daughter at some point earlier.
I have 8 girls.
Yes. Which people don't realize. You got to get enough girls.
Ultimate girl dad.
Yeah. I got a daughter for every sandal that I have. I have 8 daughters and 8 sandals.
What is it like having 8 daughters, Ronnie?
Man, it's the best thing in the world. And I tried 8 times to have a son. I finally gave up. Being a girl dad is not all that bad,
What do people think? What do their friends think? What do they think of dad when they say, my dad's Ronnie Coleman?
Oh, man.
Because, you're
get a lot of attention.
Who's the most popular?
You know what?
Person?
To be honest with you, I have more kids coming to see me now than adults. This girl, this past weekend, she was 8 years old. She's like, man, I'm your biggest fan. I really look up to you. I really love what you do. And I just love you so much. I'm like, how old are you? She's like 8. I'm like, how do you find out about me? Like, my dad told me all about you. He'd be in there watching you on the video, and he would have me come in and watch with him. So, like, I'm your biggest fan. I really love what you do, and I really admire you and everything. I'm like, coming from my 8-year-old girl. Like, what is the world coming to now?
Something that both of you guys.
And then I have these guys, same thing, 8, 9, 10 years old, coming through saying, I'm your biggest fan. I'm like, you wouldn't even thought of when I was winning those Olympias.
They weren't thought of you even after you retired.
Exactly. I'm like, how did these kids find out all about me? And it's coming from the parents. They'd be in there yelling, yeah, buddy, and lightweight, baby, all in the house. And everything.
How'd you come up with these taglines, Ronnie?
I'm going to be honest with you.
And did you ever think they'd get this famous?
I had no idea whatsoever. I was just in the gym one day. It was real hot. And I'm trying to think of some way to fire me up. So I'm like, I know, I'm going to reverse psychology. Lightweight, baby. That's something real heavy. Lightweight, all this like that. I can do this real easy. It's lightweight. And, of course, I got it every time. Well, I got tired of saying that. And I'm like, okay, I got to come up with something else. And I'm like, peanuts. Yeah, peanut butter has always been one of my favorite foods. So I'm like, this is real life. This ain't nothing but a peanut. And that took off. And same thing with you, buddy. I was just in the gym just trying to think of a way to fire me up. And I just started saying, yeah, buddy, I got this. Ain't nothing to it.
You trained in probably the most hardest court gym on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's the home of Ronnie Coleman. It's legendary.
Yeah. It's in Texas.
Ryan Dobson's, obviously, he's done a tremendous job.
Exactly.
And I know you guys did an event together for a lot of years.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie Coleman Classic, which I think you still have there.
Yep.
And you made that gym legendary, but you also made
franchise.
lifting weights legendary.
Yep.
Did you go in the gym with what mindset every single day? Was it you against yourself, or did you ever think about what I was doing, or Flex was doing, or Sean was doing?
Yeah,
Or
never even occurred to me.
you didn't care?
I thought everybody was pretty much doing the same thing. I thought everybody was lifting heavy like me, you know.
until you came and trained with us, right?
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Have you ever been a moment where you actually watched someone train and that you competed against that you were like, that guy, I don't know how that guy beats me when he trains like this?
Nope. Nope. I never watched anybody's video. I can't even watch mine.
Yeah, we've talked about that about podcasts.
Yeah, I can't even watch like when I do a podcast or something. I don't like.
You won't watch this
Watch it myself.
podcast?
To be honest with you, nope.
I beat him to it.
No.
What do you watch at home when you're? I know you're a big TV
I'm
guy.
a big TV guy.
I used to watch your videos, and you'd have something. Did you watch Price is Right, or what'd you watch?
One of my favorite shows
Yeah.
all the time.
I used to see.
I used to watch it with my grandma when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old.
It's still on. It's still on now.
It's still on now.
Yeah. I don't know who the host is though. I just watched
Drew
it the other day. Oh, that's right.
That means you're still watching it.
Still watching it. Well, not like I used to. Okay. Yep. And I watch a lot of like superhero movies, DC Comics, Marvel, big time into that. And my favorite show of all time is the Werewolf and Witch.
Okay.
And I like the show. I ain't gonna think of it, but he's the guy that plays Superman. What's the name of that show? I don't know.
You still spend a lot of time watching TV?
I still spend a lot of time watching TV. A lot of time. Every single night I have to watch one of my shows before I go to bed.
One thing I always admired about you, we traveled every weekend.
Yep.
We were booked every week. We never refused a guest spot.
Nope.
But you stayed up all night long answering fan mail.
Yep.
Fan mail.
At least 2-3 hours a night.
So,
And I still do it.
so are you getting more DMs these days, or are you doing still emails?
Still doing emails. Yeah.
People still write to you about inspiration.
Yep.
and-
Still write to me about inspiration. Want me to train them. Like, okay. I
Come to Metroflex.
train people. But, I don't have time to train. I've never trained anybody in my life because I look at it like this. If you're not going to train like me, you kind of like wasting my time.
Is there anyone nowadays you think trains similar to what you did?
To be honest with you, I never really paid any attention to anybody else training, But I figure, like I said, if you're not going to be training like me, you're not wasting my time because I ain't got time to be babysitting nobody. I got better things to do.
What do you get out of training today
Oh, man.
versus what? I mean, you had a job is to get as big as possible. You push the heaviest weights, Ronnie. You can't push the weights that you do.
Nope.
What motivates you to go to the gym on a daily basis now? Because you train 6 days a week still.
It's passion. I look forward to going to the gym still. I've been training now for about 48 years. And it's all about passion.
What do you feel like?
Kind of like a hobby,
Yeah, but what do you feel like? Like, what do you get out of a workout? Does it help you with stress? Does it help your? Do you feel
Help me
different when
with
you walk out of the
everything.
gym?
I'm really not looking for a feeling when I walk out of the gym because, I've been doing it for so long. It's like a part of me. It's a part of me. It's part of my life. Like I said, I still have that passion and that drive for it because it makes me feel like I've done something for the day. I just didn't waste my time just sitting around watching TV all day. And it kind of like motivates me and keeps me going, makes me want to do other things. It gives me a lot of energy too, And when you have passion for something, they say you never work a day in your life. And I have a ton of passion for working out. I look forward to it each and every single day. Of course, I can't do it, but the time that I can, it's the best day ever. And another thing, working for the police department, I had a ton of passion for doing that. And I look forward to going to work each and every single day. And I still, to this day, miss it. I still, to this day, wish I can go to work and work for the
You wish you could do some details right now and do some different jobs? And
I wish I could work for the police department. No different job.
I mean, but you're traveling the world, man, motivating people all over the world.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun too. But ain't nothing like having to work a job and have people rely on you and look forward to you helping them, get their lives back on track. And like I said, I just have a lot of passion for doing that. And I look forward to, when I was going to work, I look forward to going to work each and every single day so I can get away from bodybuilding. I don't know how some of these guys just, sit around and not do nothing after they've done their training. Me,
Gotta be busy.
I got to be busy. I've been a busybody person all my life. When I was in high school, Jay, I had 3 jobs. Not 1, not 2, but 3. I worked at a grocery store that I started working when I was like 8, 9 years old, sweeping the outside the parking lot, sweeping and mopping inside the store, stocking groceries. I worked at a restaurant, busboy, cleaning tables.
Cook is actually in a restaurant.
Oh yeah, no, me cleaning tables, washing dishes, mopping the floor, vacuuming the floor. And then on Tuesday and Thursday night, I worked this job as a clock operator for the intramural basketball game. And I kept scores and did all that kind of stuff. I had 3 jobs in high school. I never sat around and just, did nothing. I was always busy. When I got to college, I had 2 jobs. One, playing football. The other one was, I was the sports writer for the newspaper, college newspaper. Yeah. And then I got promoted to a sports editor, where I had to edit other people's stories, because I used to just write stories, and the editor would edit my stories. And he taught me how to do that because he graduated. So I took over his job when he graduated, and I had to edit other people's stories like he edited mine. And then I had to put the whole newspaper together, and I had a whole page that I had to work with. So I had to make all these measurements to make sure that story fitted inside a certain space. I had to make measurements for ads, make sure it fitted, on this page. And that was hard. That was so hard. I had to have...
I've never heard this before. Which is amazing. I've already won with this podcast because I don't think you've ever spoken about it.
I've never heard of that either.
Right? You never talked about it in the newspaper.
Yeah, I never talked about all these jobs. People never knew all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I also worked for the police department.
When you were a kid?
No. When I was...
You did dominoes and you did everything, right?
No. I worked for the police department when I was in college.
In college.
What did you do?
I wrote tickets. I wrote parking tickets.
Around the campus? Or?
Around the campus.
Nice.
Me and...
This is at Grambling, right?
Me and the officer would just write parking tickets and put it on.
You didn't feel bad doing that, Ronnie?
No, I loved it. When I worked for police department, I loved writing tickets. I didn't feel bad doing it.
Did people ever try to?
Never.
Because you were a big dude then.
I looked forward to going to work each and every single day, wishing somebody would. And it never happened.
What about when you were a cop, Ronnie? When you became a police officer? I mean, did anyone ever shit their pants when you walked up out of the patrol car and you walked up as big as you were and with those arms? I mean, you had legit 24-inch. We measured your arms at the Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
And they were like 24 inches.
On stage one day, too. They were 24 inches. But for the most part, when I walked up there, they would be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit. And you ain't got to worry about me giving you no trouble.
What'd your peers think on the department? I mean, when you would walk in a room. Because you're such a likable guy, but at the same time, you're very intimidating.
Yeah, they were real cool. For the most part, everybody had their own thing going on, Everybody had a family and kids. And, they trying to take care of their own family and their own kids. They ain't got time to be interested in what I was doing, And a lot of times, they didn't really know too much about it unless somebody said something to them about it. And, of course, once I started winning the Olympias, I got real popular.
I know, but Ron, you balanced a job with competition. You had a Weeder contract, or first I think you were met with Metrics for years, but but you still kept that job.
Still kept that job, and I was gonna keep that job my whole career until
Pacific West Injury Law. Injured? Call 602-HURT. Car accident? Call 602-HURT. Our firm is dedicated to you and your recovery.
We got a new chief. The old chief, he hired me, and he loved me because we used to work out together and everything.
Okay.
And he was like, man, you don't even have to come to work if you don't want to. He said, all you got to do is do your law updates and qualify with the gun, and you good. You take off as much as you want.
As you were traveling, you were at demand?
Everywhere. I was going all over the place. How I made it work, Jay, was whatever area I worked in, I made sure I lived in that area so I could go home and get my food in. So every time it came to us bidding on where we wanted to work, I made sure that I lived in that area. So because we had to bid every year where we wanted to work. We had it like north side, south side, east side, and west side. And wherever I was living, that's where I bid. And I was able to go home and do all my reports. I was able to go home for lunch each and every single day. I was able to go home and chill,
Focus on
when the contest time. I ain't out there trying to hunt down these crooks.
If they ran, what would you do?
Oh, I got a suspect going such and such way. Go catch this fool.
You weren't chasing them down.
I ain't chasing these fools. I remember like it was yesterday. I was standing, talking to this girl, and she had just passed some bad checks. I'm like, where you get these checks from? She's like, well, my friends gave them to me. And I'm like, your friend gave it to you? And she's like, yeah. And the whole time I'm sitting there talking to her, I'm standing there talking to her, I'm like, she getting ready to run.
Yeah.
Well, she's standing, close as you are to me now. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to stop this chick when she get ready to run? So I can't take my nightstick out and throw it at her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get on the radio and tell her which way she went. I ain't going to chase her because I already weighed 320 pounds, and I got another 30 pounds of
gear
on me. I ain't chasing nobody. I ain't going to catch them. Why I'm going to waste my time? So I had my head on the radio, and she took off. I like, oh, yeah, suspect on the road. She went north.
Yeah.
And you was like, oh, yeah, I'm in the area. Oh, yeah, I see her. I got her. Just like that. She didn't get nowhere. One day, another day, I'm patrolling, I'm kind of bored. And I'm behind this guy, and he runs the red light, a stop sign. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You don't see me? So I put on my lights, pull him over. We going down the street, and he ain't pulling over. I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. What this fool gonna do? He's driving real slow. He ain't trying to get away, So I'm behind him. I'm like, something ain't right here. Man, he jumped out of that car while it was still running.
Still moving. And he ran and jumped over a fence about as tall as that thing right there, that cooler right there. I'm like, suspect just jumped out of his car while we were still running. And he jumped over a fence, and now he's running eastbound. And he was in the area, he looked for a black male, about 5'5", 145 pounds with some, shorts on or in a black T-shirt. That dude never was found. Come to find out, he was driving a stolen car.
Yeah. That's why
he took off running. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. So I ain't chasing nobody. I watched that dude jump that fence like we wasn't even there.
So
he went over there and fence like I said, like he wasn't even there. He was that athletic and that fast, and I just sat there and watched and got on the radio. I ain't chasing nobody. I know I ain't gonna catch him, and that's why I kind of like look forward to going to work, because I know it's gonna be some kind of excitement, and there was always some kind of excitement like that going on every single day, and I just can't wait to get there to be part of this excitement.
I was going to say, do you remember when Jay came on your radar as someone where you looked and thought, okay, he's starting to make noise?
Nope. Never.
Do you know?
I'll tell you why, because I'm so involved with what I need to do. And I know if I do what I need to do, then I'm going to get the job done, because I can't control what nobody else is doing. But I can always control what I'm doing and how I'm going to look like. Mm-hmm. And I just always looked at it that way.
You called me for so 98 was my first professional contest, and you won the Night of Champions.
In 98, yep.
And Kevin was second.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first coming that spring of Ronnie Coleman, and then went to the Olympia and won that year.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Madison Square Garden. The next year we went for my first Olympia I qualified for. I was at Mandalay Bay. That was the first year, 99.
99, yeah.
So you remember, we barely had an expo there, but man, it's awesome. I know, you spend time at Mandalay Bay, so it must bring back some crazy memories.
Best memories of all time.
But what's crazy, Ronnie, is that if you remember, so we had the Night of Champions, which is now New York Pro.
Yeah.
And it was held at the Beacon Theater.
Yep. Yep.
And I remember you were Mr. Olympia at the time. You had won now 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the spring of 2000, and I was competing at the Night of Champions, my first professional win, and you called me after prejudging, and you said, hey, congratulations, you won. But I felt we almost had kind of we had almost like we were acquaintances because we were doing a lot of muscle mag events. Do you remember they used to bring you and I were like the only bodybuilders. Like they would bring Frank Seppi, they would bring a couple of like Greg Kovacs at the time, but we were like the only IFBB pros that were really coming out to these things like that. And
we had a lot of fun doing them.
Yeah, I mean, we used to go to Canada. He always treated you well. Why did he have such a liking to you, you think?
Because I was
because you weren't winning back then right away.
But I think he liked my physique a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I was different in that way. And he was like one of those guys that really believed in me. And back then, I didn't have a lot of guys believing in me, but one that really believed in me. They showed me a lot of love and appreciation, you know, and of course, I showed them as much love and appreciation for what they did for me as I could.
Do you remember how much you were getting paid back then to show up at like Muscle Mag events? I don't think it was much money for me.
Much money, maybe a couple grand. Something.
Yeah, I might have got $1,000. I think.
Yeah. It was.
I wasn't even at your level then.
Yeah. But you know, I always look forward to doing these events. But they were all a lot of fun, and like I said, Robert took real good care of us. You know.
And so I won that show. You called me. Yeah, the prejudging, you're like, hey, you won. And I'm like, Ronnie, the show's not over yet. And they're like, no, you won.
Yeah.
You're too honest, Ronnie. Yeah.
I was sitting, you know, front and center. I'm like, oh, no, ain't nobody even close to Jay. He got this.
And I felt really great about that because you were Mr. Olympia. You don't know what kind of impression. So I really looked up to you a lot. So when I was able to stand next to you in 2001 and lead prejudging, and that was the question if we were even going to have the show because 9/11 happened on September 11th and the show was in October.
And to be honest with you, that was one of the hardest shows ever. You want me to tell you why? I did the Arnold Classic.
People say that was your best ever.
Yeah, and the people say that was my best look ever because I had just done the Olympia. And I didn't get a chance to
come off the diet. Yeah,
come off the diet. So I stayed hard, and I just got harder going into the show. I got so hard that I went back to the original size I was when I won my first Mr. Olympia, which was 247.
And you really wanted that Hummer truck, didn't you?
I really wanted that Hummer truck.
How do you feel that you're the only one? Well, I won 3, and I won.
You got the H.
I got H2 Hummers, but you got the H1.
H1, and I kept.
Why did you want it so bad?
Because it was popular.
They were hard to get then too. You couldn't
want it, and they were real hard to get back then. Especially the H1 because it was so expensive. That thing cost $115,000
back then.
So ain't too many people gonna pay that kind of money for that kind of.
Who had better car collections, you or me?
Shoot.
I felt like we both had a lot of crazy cars.
I think you had
how many cars do you think you've bought in your life, Ronnie?
Man, shoot, at least 20 cars. Because I had 4. The most I've had at one time was 4. I had the Hummer, I had the Bentley, I had the Escalade, and I had a Dodge Charger.
I remember. I saw all the videos.
Say 20. That's like you in like 3 years.
Oh, no.
He buys cars.
So was that, you kept the Hummer for a very long time?
10 years.
I'm surprised you sold it, to be honest.
You know why I sold it? Because I never drove it. You know how many miles? I had 29,000 miles on it in 10 years.
I felt like you let everyone else drive it.
Yeah, it was everybody's car that came in town. Like, that's your car to drive for the
Yeah, Hani told me he would drive it.
Hani was like...
Did the Arnold Classic title mean a lot to you, though? Because, I mean, you only won one of them.
Yeah. I mean, a whole lot to me. Because I always, wanted that big 3/4 back trophy that he always had, a lot of good trophies out there. And you got, maybe the Sandow meaningful trophy, not the greatest one of all, but the Arnold had that real nice three quarterback that I loved. That thing was big and it was huge, and it was. I just like that pose, you know, the mystique of having, you know, one of the greatest bodybuilders of our time, you know, sitting in my house, you know. I've always thought Arnold was the greatest.
I know, but you broke his record, Ronnie.
Yeah, but, you know, I had a lot more technology than he had, you know. If he had the same technology that I had, you know.
I know, but how does it feel to be in company with Arnold? Like, I mean, I never got to that point.
It's the best feeling ever, but, you know.
You don't think about it that much, do you?
No, I don't think about it at all. Hardly. I'm mostly just proud of the titles themselves, because I worked so hard for them, and I never in a million years thought I'd win one Olympia.
I was the same way.
Not alone.
If I wanted to ask you, the field you competed against, the late 90s, mid 90s, like, you know, you had. Do you think those were the best guys? I mean, you and I competed, and I know we have the biggest rivalry ever, right? You and I, because we were 1-2 every year for a lot of years. But if you go back in the best competition for you, do you think it was against Flex and Nasser and all? Like when you won in 98, do you feel like that field was deeper than any field you've ever competed in?
Yeah, I do. Because
all those guys had beaten you before.
And already had beaten me, and I had already placed second. And I never placed nowhere near the top 3. Nowhere near it. The closest I got was like 7th, you know. So going into the 98 Olympia, I'm like, and if I could just make the top 5, you know, that'll be good enough for me. I've accomplished. I've outdone myself, because only reason I got into the sport of bodybuilding,
the free membership. Yeah,
never thought one iota I had a chance of winning it.
Is there one title that meant more than the other? Olympias? Was there one that stood out?
No.
You always said the first one.
The first Olympia, by far, was the greatest moment ever for me. Because, like I said, that one, if I could just make the top 5, not even the top 3, top 5, I've accomplished way more than I ever thought I had a chance of accomplishing. Because when Brian told me he'd give me a free membership to the gym, I didn't hesitate. Because, you know, I'm like, you know, I love working out, and all he wants me to do is compete, and I get a free membership. I was struggling at the time. I could barely pay my car note, insurance. And when something free came about, I jumped on it. It was like when I worked for Domino's Pizza, you know, I ate pizza every single day. That was dinner, because it was free. And I was
That's not the best for bodybuilding.
I had trouble.
You had crazy genetics.
Yeah. I still had abs and everything, eating pizza every.
When you train like you, Ronnie, I think you could eat pizza and beer and still.
When you got great genetics like me, you can do that.
I think genetics play a huge part in being Mr. Olympia.
A huge part. You gotta have it.
I feel like you have a really good eye for the Olympias. I mean, you eyed Sean Road in the beginning. You picked Derek Lunsford.
Yeah.
What do you think of Samson winning on Saturday? Do you feel like he's got crazy density, overall package?
Overall package up there. You know, even though he didn't have the best conditioning by far, but I think that overall packaging is well swayed the judges. You know?
It's pretty put together.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Could he go on a run for many years?
I don't think that's going to happen anymore. I think it's going to change hands for a while.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask you something. Did you have a number in mind, Ronnie? Because you were going for record 9. going for record 9. There's any. This was 04, but you know, he obviously hears a lot of, these are all against you, by the way.
First and second.
Well, there's four of these is yours. It's against you. And I skipped 02, which I think I would have beat you in 02.
I don't think so.
I felt I had you on the ropes in 01, bro.
You did a real good job of getting second.
I know, but Kevin thought he beat you in 2000.
Everybody thought they beat me.
And then,
Flex thought he beat me in
02,
99.
he in 02 he thought he beat you too.
Yeah, 99. Flex took off his medal.
I know. He's your best friend too, right? So, okay, so 2001, I felt like I should have or could have won. You came back, you won it. That was like,
they told me to come in light, and
okay, well you were probably deep breath after that. Right? That was close, right? That was close, right?
What, in
2001 when I got second.
Oh, you beat me in the
prejudge, right?
Prejudging, and I drank a gallon of water.
Were you scared?
Hell no.
Yeah.
You know why I wasn't scared? Because I woke up that morning and I couldn't get out of bed. And I couldn't get out of bed because I was totally exhausted. They had me doing all kind of interviews with TV shows and magazines, making appearances at this radio station. And by the time it came for me to get ready for the show, I'm exhausted. I'm dog tired. The night before the 2001 Mr. Olympia, I was standing in the mirror and my girl was shaving me, getting all the hair off me. And all of a sudden, I wake up and I'm in the bathtub. And I'm like, what the hell happened? How did I get in this bathtub? And she's like, you just fainted. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I was shaving you, and all of a sudden you just fell backwards. Lucky you didn't hit your head on the wall and busted wide open. But, you just fell backwards, and we had to shake you a couple of times to wake you up because you wouldn't even wake up. I'm like, damn, what the hell? I've never, ever fainted before. That was the second time I fainted. I fainted when I won my first Olympia.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
that was the second time. But she was like, yeah, we thought you were dead. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, we thought you had died because we tried to wake you up. You wouldn't wake up. I'm like, damn, what's that all about? So the next morning I wake up and I'm trying with all my power to get out of bed. Every time I roll over, I couldn't hardly catch my breath, and I couldn't get up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And every time I rolled and tried to get up, I didn't have enough strength to get up because I was so exhausted, and it scared the living shit out of me. And I'm like,
did you think about bailing out of the show?
Yeah, I called Chad, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to the hospital. I ain't dying for no Olympia. I don't give a damn about no title. I don't care. I want to live. And he's like, no, don't do that. You're going to work too hard for this show. I'm like, no, dude, I ain't dying over no Olympia. He's like, no, I tell you what, just grab a gallon of water and drink as much as you can till you feel a little bit better. So I grabbed a gallon of water and I drank and I drank and I drank, and I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. So I turned it up and drank the whole damn thing. And I'm like, oh, shit, I do feel a lot better. I'm like, oh, Chad, I'm all right, dude. I got out of bed after I drank that water. Like I told you. He's like, now, I got to come over there and try to get some of it water off you. But, you know, by that time, he couldn't give me a lot of direct or whatever he was giving me to get the water off of me.
I think we were competing at noon that time.
Yeah, so, and I only had, 2 hours or something like that, maybe 3. So he couldn't give me that much. So I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to have to go over there like this.
It was a one-day show.
Yeah. And I was able to get up, you know, and make it over to the show like it wasn't nothing. But I was holding a lot of water. And you beat me, and I'm like, at least I'm alive, you know. I ain't dead like I thought I was dying, you know. And I thought to myself, I remember watching TV one time, and somebody was saying they felt like they were dying, and they were really dehydrated. I'm like, how the hell can you feel like you're dying? You're just dehydrated. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, okay, now I know exactly what they were talking about.
Delirious, man, you know.
Oh, man, it was bad. It was real bad. So I didn't care that I was in second place. At least I was still alive. And Chad was like, man, we got to get this water off you. So he take me back to the room and hit me with a real big dump of powder.
The Chad special.
Yeah, I must have peed like 3 hours.
So you were confident you were going to come back and kick my ass?
Oh, yeah. I got him now.
I was just happy to be second, to be honest. I mean, against a guy that I idolized.
I was happy to be alive.
Who would have ever thought, Ronnie, that from that time forward we'd build the rivalry?
Yeah. Didn't have a clue.
I mean, today we look at, what social media has done for our careers.
Yeah, exactly.
And they look at us, too, as the best ever
exactly.
battle it out. I mean, it was Arnold and Franco before. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody had never had nothing.
I mean, Phil and Kai kind of had it for a minute, but
Kai never won it.
He didn't follow up on it, you know. He just kind of quit. Whereas you hung in there and you kept going. And I'm quite sure you kind of felt like quitting too.
Everyone told me you couldn't be beaten.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you said it you just were on Shay talking about, we took our clothes off in 2003 and we weren't. The funny thing is you and I were cool, right? And the magazines would try to create this. They tried to create this battle with us, but the thing is, and when we traveled and we spent time, we ate together, we laughed, we joked, we went to the clubs, we did everything, right? Together. So when we got to Olympia, though, Ronnie, it was all business. We would separate. We wouldn't share rooms. Yes, and we didn't speak really. Because it was like, okay, the title's on the line. Obviously, you had the title for the majority of that time.
Yep.
But for me, like, it was just, it's when I talk about it, it's such great memories to me, even when I lost, because it was such a familiar territory. Yeah. And I love the fact that every year I'd hear about Gunter, I'd hear about Dexter, I'd hear about Victor Martinez. Everyone was going to beat me to take position, but no one was going to beat you. Everyone was respectful to you. Like, Ronnie's the GOAT. Mm-hmm. He's the greatest bodybuilder ever. He's untouchable. He's unbeatable. And I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, and I never even thought nothing like that.
But you just went back to Texas. You trained when you didn't care if anyone was looking.
Nope.
You just did the same thing.
I even put everything on video.
And you know what? The simplified things about your training, and I know there's so many theories now on you need to train a certain way, but your chest day was this: incline barbell, flat bench press, and decline press.
That's it.
On every Saturday that we trained chest. And I was shocked because, Ronnie, where's the flies? And you would do, I think you did a different chest workout during the week that incorporated something else, maybe.
Yeah. I did barbell.
Okay, but it was so simple.
Simple.
Why does everyone today try to complicate it so much?
Because they think that's what you have to do. They think it's all this technology out there. They come up with all these theories.
And
about
angles and manipulations and rep schemes.
And this is going to make all the difference.
Because I tell you, you did 12 reps.
Yep.
And it was like 135, 225, 315. You didn't go up to 600 pounds every workout.
No,
when,
never.
Especially when we were
Never,
traveling.
ever.
But you did 12. We did 12 reps, and I was shocked because I'm like, shit, damn, I'm keeping up with Ronnie Coleman. It was pretty cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure once you went home and you locked in for the Olympia, those weights, I mean, you filmed some of the greatest videos ever.
Yeah.
And that was probably exciting. But I felt like we battled our DVDs, too. Like, I would release a DVD, you would release a DVD.
And the only thing about it is I never, ever watched my DVD.
No?
Not one time. And I never even watched nobody else's
What was the
DVD
most successful DVD of all time for you?
I want to say the Unbelievable.
So Cost of Redemption. What was the
those
last?
two, actually.
Okay.
Cost of Redemption and Unbelievable.
How many did you sell? You have any idea?
I have no idea.
He's still selling them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hundreds of
watching
thousands,
selling
probably.
VHS. You still selling DVDs?
No.
Oh, I thought you still had some left.
I don't have any left. I sold every last one of them I had. You know, then Mitch left,
Yeah.
and that ended that. Some guy took over, but
Do you go through social media and you look at how many memes have been made of
no.
you? I mean, you have to see it because they're all on your feed.
I don't never really pay attention to it because I got a family now. You know, I'm more concerned about hanging out with them. We go on vacations. You know, we hang out together. I take them to school. I pick them up from school. I take them to their event when they compete in, you know, gymnastics or volleyball or whatever they want to do. It is more, you know, that part of my life is over. You know, I'm looking for a new chapter. I'm looking to do something different because I've done that, you know, and now I just want to hang with the family and be a family
Peace,
man.
be at peace.
Yeah, be at peace and hang out with these kids and make sure they grow up and have a great life. And I figure if I'm in their lives and I'm taking good care of them, they're going to turn out to be, you know, good people and good, successful people at that, just like I did.
I was going to ask you in 06, before J1, you guys were talking on stage a little bit. Do you remember what you guys were talking?
Yeah,
He said you won.
I told him he won.
He won. He got the call. He got the word. You know, he knew it. Which is,
Vicky already told
and
me
you know what,
that.
Ronnie? I was thinking, man, like, gosh, how am I going to all I cared about was your emotions.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
At the time.
It was hard, real hard at the time, because I didn't know what I was going to do, you know. And it was my first time losing. I'm like, oh, man, it's over for me. I'm not going to be able to make it no more. And I'm like, man, I can't believe it. It's all over. And Lee Haney was backstage. He's like, what do you think about this, Lee? He's like, man, you better make your money. Like, you better get out there and do no business, because I had a guest holding in Australia. I'm like, man, I ain't going over there doing no guest holding. I lost this show. Ain't nobody want to go on.
Tony Doherty was bringing you over.
Ain't nobody want to see me and hang out with me and get no picture with no loser. I'm just done with all of this shit. And Lee Haney like, man, you better make your money. That's all he kept saying. Better make your money. And I'm like, damn, Lee making a lot of sense here. I do got to make my money. This shit ain't all over. And right then and there, I snapped right out of it. And I'm like,
The next chapter starts.
Yeah,
we went to Europe after that.
Make my money.
We went to Europe. We competed.
Yeah, we sure did.
And
I wasn't gonna do none of those shows either. I was just gonna quit.
Yeah, but
and Lee said, "Man, you gotta make that money. Better make your money." And I like, damn, Lee making a lot of sense here. I do gotta make my money. I can't just quit and give up. And that's what I did.
I mean, listen, you've been wildly successful since, Ronnie. I mean, you started Ronnie Coleman Signature Series.
Mm-hmm.
You have a crazy facility down in Orlando. You built your gym recently. I know I have to get down there. We got to train and do a podcast whenever we're there at the same time. I know they reached out to Matt about it. So I will come down and
it's a real nice facility, that's for sure. I mean, it's real nice.
You're doing a lot of work with Bernarda now also. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, we going around and we're doing a lot of expos and talking about the product, talking about the equipment, it's some of the best equipment ever. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a rep for the company, but I'm saying it because I really love this stuff. It really works really good. And it's some of the best equipment I've ever worked out on in my life. It ain't like a lot of these other machines out there where you have to stack a whole bunch of weight on there. I mean, you can put like a 45 on there, and it feels like you get a real good pump from that.
Imagine how much has changed, Ronnie, in our era of equipment.
Oh man, it's totally different. I actually feel like with this equipment, I could have won some Olympia doing it.
Yeah,
because
instead of doing the free weights, because
it hits the angles real good, and you get this great pump, and you don't have to put a lot of weight on there. And it is scientifically developed to hit the muscles at a real good angle, and you get a real good pump from not having to put a whole lot of weight on there. And it's real smooth, Some of these equipment is not that smooth. But this is real smooth. It hits the angles real good, and you get a real good pump off one exercise. And it's just some real good quality equipment.
It's great that you're able to rep. I mean, you have your supplement brands, which are all over the world. I don't know how many countries you're in.
130.
I mean, that's keeping you super busy. We're still booked at events together.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that we're able to share some of these moments. I mean, we're on the Young LA team. We got a photo shoot in a couple of days, Black Friday. And
we get a chance to chill.
Yeah. It's great that we get the respect, right? That we never imagined. Our biggest fear probably was to get off that Olympia stage and be lost and forgotten.
Exactly.
I mean, I know you being a GOAT, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to be able to.
And you've seen that happen to some guys.
Yes.
Why
But you stay so active, Ronnie. Do you just love it like that? Are you gonna ever slow down?
I know, because I have this passion for this.
So this is now your new passion.
I love this. Yeah, of course. It's always been there. It was just I had to do certain things to get to where I am. I worked real hard.
Sacrifice, man.
And I sacrificed a lot. And so much.
So I got you two here, so I want to ask both of you a question. What did Jay mean to you competing all those years? And the same to you, what did it mean to have Ronnie there?
Well, I never would have pushed myself as hard without being against that.
And I had to improve every single year because I knew I had people coming after me. So I had to go in the gym and work that much harder. I couldn't just, I'm the champ. All I got to do is just a little bit. And I'm gonna get this trophy again. I'm thinking in my mind, I got to work harder in order to stay on top, because these guys were coming for me. So every year, I didn't rest on my laurels. I took a break in order to let my muscles, relax, because I beat the hell out of. For whatever, like
months,
9-10 months, So I ain't gonna lie to you. I took about 3 months off.
I remember that a lot of guys back then after the Olympia, they would just nothing.
Well, it's hard when you're the champion, you're taking that time. Like, I never took the time off. I would go off, I'd take my foot off the gas a little bit, but I still went in there and cruised. He would go on his cruise after, and
I didn't do it. anything.
He wouldn't go in the gym. He'd get smaller. You lost a lot of size during that time.
I didn't lose that much. I went from, of course, show you diet, right? You go down to like, for me, like 290, 285, somewhere in there. So after the show, you picking out. And you get up to like 320 real quick. And then you quit working out and you lose a little bit. A lot of people lose a lot. For me, I still stayed around 285, 290. No working out. Not taking anything. Nothing at all.
No drugs.
No drugs.
The guys don't do that.
There's no such thing as TRT or bridging or anything like that. It was just cold turkey stuff.
Yeah, cold turkey for 5 months. I mean, I didn't do anything for 5 months after the Olympia. No kind of drugs whatsoever. At 3 of those months, no working out or nothing. No working out, nothing. No cardio.
Did you go crazy during that time ever, or did you?
No. It was. I was giving my body a break. So I'm like, this is good for me. If I want to last, and win as many Olympias as possible, I got to give my body a break. I can't just go banging all the time, because you're gonna bang your body to death, and it's not going to work. It's not going to perform, and you can't be taking all these drugs all the time. You're going to just ruin your kidneys, your liver, and all that kind of stuff.
These guys nowadays just refuse.
Yeah.
Does it concern you ever that these guys, like the hear some of these things these guys take and not take coming off? And I mean, it's bad, right?
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they can do that. How can you do that for so long? I mean, I look forward to the time.
Of course, we all stop. I couldn't wait till it was done.
Yeah, and not have to do these shots and stuff,
Yeah, I was the same way.
Yeah, I cherish that, and I look forward to it. It was like I said, I'm giving my body a break because I want it to last as long as possible. You see these guys now, they can't even do the show. So they, they broke down their body. They ain't giving their body a break. You got to give it's a human body. You got to treat it with care. You got to take good care of it. It's like, you got a dog or you got these plants or whatever. You ain't going to beat your dog to death. You're going to relax with it. You're going to have fun with it. You're going to take care of it. And, it's going to, take care of you.
I hope you continue to spread that message. And, I'm sure you get a lot of questions and what did you do? And what did you do so different than everyone else? I feel like you know what? No one worked like you, Ronnie.
Yeah.
No one had the genetics like you.
Nobody had the work ethic like I do either.
I'm sure your mom passed that on to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My mom.
She was the biggest supporter for you.
Yeah, she worked hard, real hard for us. Get us where we are.
How many brothers, sisters do you have, Ronnie?
3 sisters and a brother. They all
came to Olympia every year. I remember seeing it.
Every single year. Never missed it. They came to all my shows.
Yeah.
Even if it was in Canada, they would come. That's awesome. We've always had this great, big, happy family. We all supported each other in everything we did. Like I said, we were all successful. My brother was a police officer, trooper for the state. My sister, 2 of them are nurses. One's a nurse practitioner. She's getting a doctorate right now. My other sister, she's the only one that stayed in Louisiana and did her own thing, pretty much. But the rest of us, we got out of there real quick. And we all moved to Texas and made something out of our lives, We all went to school got our degrees and everything, and did something for ourselves. And that's what I want for my kids. The same thing. I want them to get out there and be productive citizens, get good jobs, and have a great life, just like I did.
Well, listen, we know we kept you for a long time, and listen, we could go forever, but I want everyone to know, before we started this podcast, Ronnie ate chicken and rice. I mean, if I asked you still what you eat, you still eat pretty much a good diet all the time.
You get used to certain things, and, once you get used to certain things, your body kind of get used to it.
I loved when you got in the car and I said, "What do you want to eat, Ronnie?" And you're just like, "Chicken and rice." It's the same thing I say, right? It's like every guest appearance we go to, we travel around the world, and everyone says, "What do you want to eat?" I say, ask him, chicken and rice. And they're like, "Does Jay eat anything else but chicken and rice?"
Nope.
No.
What else? Ain't nothing else to eat.
Yeah.
What else you going to eat?
Steak and rice.
So Ronnie calls me. He says, "Oh, I'm at the hotel and there's no good food here. Where can I get some chicken and rice?"
Yeah, I can find it at the hotel. All they got there is bad food.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, we love you. The fans love you.
Oh, yeah, and I'm having the best time of my life.
You got a crazy schedule coming up. So over the next month, Dubai, you'll be in Wisconsin.
Yeah. And
where else?
I'm doing a European tour.
We don't know. Okay, so is there a special website for that, or is it not listed? Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it'll be in November. Be like the second week of November.
Okay.
So it'll all be out there real soon.
So all the fans can come meet you all over the world.
Yeah, just look forward to me in Europe. I'll be there for about 2 weeks. Making appearances and having fun. The way we do it.
Different. What do you think of this ring?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, these rings we got are off the chain, man. I mean, I got in the elevator, girl, like, "Is that a Super Bowl ring?" I'm like, "Nope."
Did you tell her who you were?
Nope. I like, you.
The guys are going
nothing
crazy.
Like that.
The guys are going crazy at the hotel to see you and I together.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Mandalay Bay was a history place for us.
Exactly.
We had some good battles there, you and I. But
the best times of my life were right there at Mandalay Bay, especially winning those
99, 2000, 2001. Yeah.
7 Olympias in that one hotel.
Well, listen, man. Well, I'm sure we'll meet again. We'll be together this week. But once again, man, I appreciate you more than you know.
We'll do this again, Jay.
Yeah.
I want to come back when I get myself together and I'm back walking. Some people don't believe it's going.
Well, maybe we'll have to get
you know what he's going to do?
A weight training session, and
Jay walks with Jay.
Yeah,
Ronnie's going to walk.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, listen, man. Thanks again, Ronnie. Appreciate you so much. And
oh man, the pleasure's all
crushing
mine,
it, bro.
And anytime you need me for anything, and all you got to do,
you the man,
is ask.
You the man.
I'll be there. And like I said, same with me. Hopefully, anytime I need you for something, I'll
bring you up, bro.
Just bring you up and ask. And I appreciate everything you do.
We'll do it again.
You already know it.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, buddy.